I recently started focusing more on my physical health, and I'm doing a daily exercise program called Daily Burn 365. In this process video, I'm going to be showing you a 12 by 12 layout that I created to document this, and also how I goofed up on the title, next on the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. I'm Victoria, so glad that you're here. Let's dig into this 12 by 12 layout, but before we do, hit that subscribe button, make sure you click the bell, that way you'll be notified each and every time I post new content here to the channel. So I'm creating this 12 by 12 layout. I'm going to be using some materials from the Paige Evans Wonders Collection. So if you want to learn more about those things, there is a link down below. By the way, I also have bonus content for my Patreon community where I talk a little bit more about my design process for this layout. So if you want more of a deep dive in the behind the scenes of my design process, then join us on Patreon. The link is provided in the description below. Now, to begin, I'm going to set up the background of this layout. I'm using a pattern paper from the Paige Evans collection. I also cut a 1" by 12" strip that's going to serve as the anchor for my photo. I have a 4x6 photo, and I also have a photo strip that I created in Photoshop. It's roughly about 7 inches tall, I think. And I'm going to be honest with you, this layout took me several days to design. I don't know why. It's not a complicated design by any means. It's pretty standard, for me at least. I think sometimes we just have an idea in mind, and sometimes it just doesn't come to fruition the way that we think. And so finally I'm like, you know what? Just document the story. So that's what I'm doing. So what I wanted were some vertical elements to go along with those vertical photos. But I'm using this pattern paper strip here to act as a horizontal anchor so it balances everything out. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down, make sure that I have it positioned where I want it. I also had some die cut labels there, and those are perforated. You can actually tear them apart. And I decided to just use those as a layering element behind my photo because I didn't want to write on them or anything. And sometimes I do that with my embellishments. I'm going to go ahead and pop up my photo using some foam from scrapbook.com. just to give that a little bit of height on the layout. I'm going to go ahead and try to position everything and lay everything out for the 1,000,000th time. I swear, I've been working on this layout for a couple of weeks now. I play around with it, put it away. Play it around with it, put it away. Sometimes it's just like that. I also have some die cut numbers that I created using a die from the ton stamps. I'm going to show you how I created those numbers here in just a second. I needed something that was going to be tall and skinny, and I didn't have any sticker fonts. Surprise, surprise. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to make my own, and I'm going to go ahead and pair that with a Kelly Perky stamp set. And you'll see that here in just a second. But before I commit to actually putting the title down, because I am going to do some stamping, I want to go ahead and put the photo down. I adhere the photo strip first, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere the journaling, which I typed out using Microsoft Word, and I printed it using some vellum. The vellum that I'm using is from Hero Arts, and they call it layering vellum. It's a nice thick vellum. You can print on it. You do want to give it a second so the ink can dry before you actually start cutting up and touching it and whatnot. I've made the mistake of doing that many times. Lesson learned. All right, so I went ahead and put my photo down. All those embellishments are in place. Now it's time to work on the title. I'm going to take this number stamp from the ton stamps, and I'm using some navy blue cardstock. I'm just going to adhere that down a little bit with some low tack tape. I'm going to run this through my Spellbinders Platinum die cutting machine, and notice that I put that die on an angle. That helps to balance out the pressure on your die cutting machines, and it also helps to preserve your acrylic cutting plates. I'm going to go ahead and remove the die, and of course here are the letters cut on that navy blue cardstock. This is a fantastic technique so that you can make your own letters. You don't have to go out and buy new letters, right? Or numbers. You can make your own. And of course I bumped my acrylic mat there and it just went flying across the die cutting machine. All right, back to it. Next, I'm going to use this same die and I'm going to cut the numbers 2 more times, because what I want to do is I want to stack the numbers to give them some dimension. You can do this with cutting your letters or whatever your element is out of foam. You can also cut them using double-sided tape, and that way you already have adhesive on the back of the element. This works well for skinny elements like the ones that I'm using now. So I'm just going to continue to cut one more time, and of course you can cut as many as you want. You can stack them as high as you want. I just wanted a little bit of dimension so they don't lay so flat on the background of the layout. So here I am showing you what that looks like. I already have some of the numbers already cut and stacked. And I love that small amount of dimension. And for those who are worried about adding bulk to your layouts, this is perfect. I know some people don't like using thickers and that type of thing. You can use your dies to create a dimensional element that's not so tall that it becomes too bulky. So what I do is I stack the solid cardstock, the white cardstock. It could be black cardstock. It could be whatever you want. So I'm going to go ahead and stack those first, and then I'm going to take the solid navy blue cardstock and stack that on top, and it's going to give me a little bit of dimension there, which I absolutely love. Now, with this method, of course, you can make all the numbers and die cuts and letters to your heart's content. This is also a really great way to use up your stash. So the paper that I used came out of my paper stash, so I'm using that up as well. And then, of course, I'm storing the extras in the package with the die. So if I need any letters, they're already cut. Now, here's where I make a mistake. So I'm, starting to get pretty happy with this layout, right? It's coming together. And the name of the program that I subscribe to is called Daily Burn 365. It's an app that you can put on your phone. You can stream it from any streaming service. It's fantastic. Or at least like if you have a Roku or something is what I mean. I have subscribed to this program since 2016, and I've done it on and off since then, and I sort of recommitted to my fitness goals recently. I was diagnosed with high cholesterol, I'm a little bit overweight, and I also been dealing with some anxiety issues. So getting up every morning, brand new workout every day, 365 days out of the year. I get up and do my workout. Well, I don't do them every day. My goal is 5 to 6 workouts per week. And so I'm putting this layout together, and I want the title to be Daily Burn 365. What I don't notice until after I record this video is that I put the numbers down wrong. It's supposed to say 365, not 356. It's not Daily Burn 356. And I think I just might leave it. I used that liquid glue, Barely Arts liquid glue, and those are on there. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to get some undo, which is some glue adhesive, if I want to go ahead and fix that and switch the letters out, but we'll see, because I'm kind of a lazy scrapper. And sometimes when you make mistakes on layouts, sometimes they just stay there, at least in my experience. And I look back over my layouts, I'm like, I probably should correct that. And I don't, because I move on to the next project. On top of those die cut letters, I stamped out Daily Burn using that Kelly Perky stamp set along with some ink from Hero Arts. And of course, I'll link that in the description so you can check that out. And I like the way the title looks. I like the big tall numbers and the little small letters from that stamp set. So I think it works out just fine. To finish up this layout, I'm going to create some layered clusters. I'm starting with those large flowers. In this particular collection, there are a ton of large elements. So those are going to serve as an anchor. I'm also going to use these tissue paper rosettes that also have a die cut in the middle. I'm going to actually replace one of those die cut flowers with one of those rosettes. One has a rainbow in the center. The other one has a gold heart. I'm sorry, it's a blue heart with gold accents on it. I also have this little banner that I'm going to pull from the sticker sheet from the collection. I'm actually going to put some foam behind that banner here pretty soon. And then I'm trying to decide what other elements do I want to add on. So I thought, maybe I'll add a little bee. Nope, that's going to go away. Then I thought maybe I will add another label. And sometimes too much text is too much text on page. It just kind of takes away. I have a label down there that says always learning new things, and that's going to actually come off because I feel that it's too heavy. And of course, if you've been around for a while, you know that I have to have a tab on my layout. So I pull out a tab. I think I'm going to put it there with those tags. I decide not to. And I shop that around the page for a little bit. I hee-haw a lot on this layout. I kid you not. It took me forever to even just get this far. And sometimes it happens that way. Sometimes I can sit down and just knock out a layout, but every now and then I have those layouts that just, for whatever reason, doesn't come together. I'm going to go to the chipboard sheet. There's a little chipboard flower. I'm just going to pop that right there in the center of that yellow flower to bring some blue up there to the top. And then I'm going to add in some little gold hearts from the sticker sheet as well. I have a bunch of materials from this collection that were sent to me from American Crafts when I was on the design team about a year ago, and I'm still trying to go through it. So I'm trying to decide how many of these elements can I use on a page and do a maybe heavy embellished layout, perhaps. But I have a lot of photos on here, so there's only so much embellishing that I can do. I have a little bit of white space on that 4x6 photo, so I'm trying to cover that up with something. So I shop my die cuts, and ultimately I take this banner from the sticker sheet. I'm going to dull the sticky because, you know, when you put a sticker down on the photo, it's in game at that point if you don't want it on there, and then you have to reprint your photo. So I'm going to go ahead and put this banner right in that white space of the photo. I'm also going to layer in a label that says exploring, because I am exploring. I love trying new workouts with this program, and I'm very active on the Facebook page as well. I believe I pay like $26 a month, and I get to work out from home. Cheaper than a gym membership, and I absolutely love it. It's a very supportive community, and so far I've lost 6 pounds, so there we go. All right, I'm going to add this little puffy sticker there to the banner, and I think with that it's done. Nope, this is at the point that I decide I need to pop this up using some foam. So I'm going to grab my little foam squares from 3L, and they're small enough to fit right on each of those individual banners. I love it when it works out that way, so that way I'm just not cutting out foam. And that's going to add just another little pop of dimension there on the layout versus laying flat to the background. And with that, my daily burn 356, which is supposed to be 365, layout is complete. If you want to see some bonus content where I talk about my design process for this project, consider becoming a Victoria Marie Scrap Boss patron on Patreon. It's a great way to support Victoria Marie Designs and support this channel. There is a link down below where you can learn more about becoming a patron and get access to the bonus content. Thanks so much for joining me today. Post in the comment section if you've made some flubs on your scrapbook titles lately. I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Click the bell so you'll be notified each and every time new content is posted. And I will see you in the next one.